Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those who are new, I'm Matthias Fagrame, a second-year PhD student at the University of Oxford, and in this video we'll be going through 5 steps to take to avoid being stressed out. Anticipating stress. What I really do mean by this is understanding your weakness. When I was trying to learn how to maintain my composure and be rational and basically avoid being stressed out under such stressful environments, I made a bullet point of things I had observed in myself when I was extremely stressed. These 2 major things that stood out to me were my heart rate goes up, and then because of that I found it incredibly difficult to focus. And so my next goal became, how exactly can I conquer my weaknesses? And so I thought to myself, if I can learn to remain composed and control my breathing when my heart rate is super high, then I probably would not be stressed out. And so I set high intensity exercises. So I would sprint, I would cycle really fast, I'd play football, and just when I hit the point where my heart rate goes super high, I would stop and try and become conscious of the environment, try and breathe through my nose and really try and control my breathing. This was incredibly difficult at the beginning, but over time I realized that I could actually really control my breathing when my heart rate was going super high. I have come to learn and understand the focus is actually a double-edged sword, because the more attention you pay to something, the more detail you can see, the cleaner the resolution is, and the more problems you actually see, to be honest. For example, during my undergraduate degree, all I did was study. I'd wake up in the morning, study, attend my lectures, do more studying, do deadlines, hang out with my friends a little bit, study and study and study. And while this worked out in my favor in terms of getting good grades and understanding the content and being quite on time with deadlines, it also helped me to dig a hole for myself. And why is this? I spent so much time on a particular module and be so focused and understand all the details behind a mechanism and just keep studying and studying. But then the more I studied a particular subject or module, the more I realized the things I did not know. And it became this whole infinite loop, because I'd keep studying just to realize I don't know enough about this topic or this subject or this module, and keep studying, and then I would eventually get stressed out because I spent so much time on a particular subject or topic or module that I was beginning to neglect other subjects. And so I'd go back to the course objectives, take out everything I need to learn from the module and go to the next module. But eventually it became this whole infinite loop of always having something to do because of the amount of focus and attention to detail I had for this subject, that I would eventually get stressed out. And this would lead to stress eating or stress shopping. And in the worst case scenario, I became burnt out. And the problem with being burnt out is then I become more stressed, because now I have no energy to do the things I'm stressing about, which leads me to become more stressed because I can't do the things I actually want to do. And so the moment I was done with my undergrad and I got into postgraduate life and postgraduate research, I decided to start picking up hobbies. And why is this? Hobbies is a way to carry my focus away from my primary objective. So if I book in a gym class for 6 and it's now 5 p.m. and I really want to do this experiment, but it's going to take me 2 hours, I then have to become a lot more rational, because it's like, do I really need to do this experiment now? Can it be done later? How necessary is it for me to do this experiment? And so that way I carry my focus away from being in the lab and I end up going to the gym, where I can become a lot more fit, or I can work on my heart rate with these exercises, learn how to maintain my composure while I'm running or lifting or whatever the case is. Another reason why I recommend hobbies to people is because if you're quite a perfectionist like I am and you love giving your best to every single thing you're involved in, you sometimes need to expel some of that energy into something else. Otherwise, you would eventually become stressed out. Why? Because things never end. The better you become at something, the more you realize the things you can do to become better. It's almost this thing like money. You never make enough money. You're never rich enough. The richer you become, the more money you want and the more affluence you have. You want to, I want to invest in this, and then I want to do this, I want to do this. It's this infinite loop. And so with hobbies, you can expel some of that energy into something that is not your primary focus. For example, I took up baking earlier in the year. And when I started baking, the first 3 cakes I made were an absolute disaster. And so I thought to myself, if I'm baking, I have to do it well, I have to give my best to this. So I started putting in a lot more time and energy into baking. But what that was doing for me was I was becoming less stressed about my research, because instead of putting 200% energy into stressing about this research, I can take 100 and put it into baking, and now I have a healthy balance of 100% interest in my research and 100% interest in my baking. And that way I can keep a healthy lifestyle and not become stressed out or feel burnt out, or just get to the point where imposter syndrome kicks in because I'm spending way too much time in my research and I just keep feeling like I don't know enough, I'm in the wrong place. Step 3 is planning, and the idea here is just to plan. no matter how you want to plan, just find a way to organize your life. For me, I just use the Apple Calendar, and what I do is I just block out times and chunks of time where there are meetings I need to be at and set reminders for 2 days before, or 1 week before, or 15 minutes before I have a meeting with someone, or I need to send out this email before this particular date. And what this helps me with is when I get those notifications 2 hours before or 2 days before, it helps me take out time to then prepare for what I need to do. And so every day, one of the first things I do is actually check my calendar, because that way I can, refresh my memory of the things I need to do and where I need to be that particular day. This can easily become counterintuitive, because what I'm about to tell you is, when you have a free 10 minutes, or whenever I have a free hour or 2 hours, or I'm just walking to the lab or doing something, I try to clear off a quick task in between, just so I feel a lot lighter. For example, if I have 4 emails I really need to reply to, as opposed to waiting to get to the lab and then open my laptop and think, oh, I need to plan this experiment, but then there's these 4 emails I need to reply to, I just reply to emails on my phone as quickly as I can. And that way I can get that energy off and, get that out of my checklist as quickly as possible and focus on things I really need to focus on. Now, this needs to be done in moderation, in a healthy way. I know people who have advised that you should always have your work email signed out of your phone and only have it on your laptop. But for me, it actually helps me to not be stressed. Step number 5 is understanding your body and taking control of your environment. Now, we're all different people and we have different things that stress us out, and to different capacities as well. Understanding your body is just quite like number 1, which is understanding your weaknesses, understanding things that would get you to the point where you become super stressed out and anxious, and also taking control of your environment. And for me, it was things like the music I listen to have a way of affecting me subconsciously. Taking control of my environment is about the things I watch, the books I read, the people I'm around, the sort of energies I surround myself with. I want to be around people who would always encourage me, people who, if I can't think rationally, would help me think. For example, I had a meeting last week and it was a meeting that was supposed to stress me out, but then I had a postdoc tell me, this is just going to be a discussion. It's nothing you need to be worried about. I wasn't even stressed before she said that. And that's what I mean by taking control of your environment and being around positive people and people who can actually help you not be stressed. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you have any tips and tricks on how to avoid being stressed out, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching this video once again. I will see you in the next video.